Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about whether you should pinch or whether you should thumb. For me personally, because I have a very stiff thumb and also very stiff fingers due to my many years of typing on a keyboard, so I can't really fly thumbing because it will be very painful, or I can't be as flexible as somebody who is in their 20s or in their uh, early teens or late teens. So I have to fly pinching. So let's talk about thumbing. So if you thumb, you're going to thumb using something like this style. So by thumbing, you're going to have to bend your thumb, and then you have to keep it very steady. So imagine this, if you do this every single day for a long period of time, you're going to hurt yourself here. The joint will become very stiff, and then you'll not be able to fly flexibly as you could when in your early years. So also, because you're not only flying this um, with your thumb, you're also using your thumb for other things in your daily life. So if you're a mechanic or if you do a lot of things with your hands, it doesn't really matter whether you do a lot of things with your hands in your job, but you do use your thumb and your fingers quite often. So over the years, you're going to damage your thumb and they will become stiffer. So you can't really fly with very stiff thumb. The second thing that I want to talk about is with thumbing is that if you look at all the videos of pilots who use pinching or thumbing, you're going to see that pilots using thumbing, their flight video will not be as smooth as somebody who's using pinching. Because with thumbing, you're going to have to rest your thumb on the sticks. So you have to constantly keep it steady in order not to put your quad off course or something like that. So by doing that, especially if you're flying racing, professional racing, you're going to do this a lot. So you're going to move it around a lot. But maybe for racing, it doesn't matter whether you're flying it smoothly or not, because you're just flying through obstacles. But over time, you're going to hurt yourself just doing this. But anyway, in terms of smooth flying, if you use pinching, you're just going to raise your fingers and then just let the quad flies around freely, and then you just move the quads as you see fit or where the obstacles are. So you're going to have very smooth flying using pinching rather than thumbing. So because these flying quadcopters has a very short history, there's not a lot of data out there as to the injury that you can sustain using a thumb. But for me personally, using pinching is much better. And also, I'm not a very good pilot. I only started flying probably about 3 years ago when I started my YouTube channel. But I don't really fly a lot. If you scroll through my playlist, I only fly very, very recently. But I did learn a bit of flying during my early years of my YouTube channel. Flying toy quadcopters, I usually thumb. The reason why I use thumbing for toy quadcopters is that it's stabilized mode. So I want to talk to you now about stabilized mode. So if you fly stabilized mode, thumbing is fine because you need to push your quad around using both your thumb, because you need to push forward in order for it to go forward, left or right. And then if you keep the sticks in the middle, then it will just stabilize and it just won't move. It will just hover. So that's alright if you fly stabilized mode, so you just have to push it around. So it's fine with that. And especially if you're just flying tiny whoops, and most of the time you're flying stabilized mode, so thumbing is fine. But when you start flying acro, most of the time when you fly acro is when the quad will need to be stabilized by your sticks. So if your sticks are not steady, then your quad will fly around erratically. So the other things that you must remember is that thumbing is not accurate. Just look at my fingers now, my thumb and my fingers. If you thumb, you're basically moving the sticks using just a thumb. Imagine in real life, if you move something using a thumb, you can only push it left, right, up and down, and you cannot be very specific or very accurate in moving things around using just a thumb. But when you want to pick up things, you need to use your thumb and your index fingers to move things around. So that's when you get accurate. So same thing with flying. Imagine this, if you want to fly acro and you need to have the quad very stabilized, or you want it to move left, right, up, center, or whatever, you need to keep it very steady. That's where pinching comes in, where you can be more accurate. So you can do this very accurately. Whereas if you use thumbing, imagine that you can't really put it very precise location. But when you do this, you can, just like in real life or in your everyday life, you want to move something accurately, you need to use your thumb and your index finger. So over the time, you're going to find that using pinching, you can fly longer and your fingers won't feel tired. But when you use your thumb, then your thumb gets very tired very easily because of the way that you put your thumb on your sticks and you move the sticks around. So overall, flying using pinching is much better, and it's also necessary because you don't want to get yourself injured, or if you have very stiff thumb or fingers, you can still fly using pinching rather than thumbing. But with quadcopter flying, most of the time if you fly stabilized mode, it's much better to use thumbing. But when you want to fly acro mode, you need to use pinching, and it's necessary. So you will fly very smoothly. So in summary, probably tiny whoop, stabilized mode, thumbing is fine. For any other purposes, for acro flying, pinching is much better, more accurate. And also, lastly, this is to encourage and to get everyone flying, because if you have very stiff fingers, it's better to use pinching. And also, to prevent injury to yourself, it's much better to use pinching for flying. So I hope you guys like and enjoy this video. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Just remember, quadcopter is not rocket science. See you next time.